Well, it's a new video and today it's show and tell with my year in review. These are my top 10 vinyl scores of 2022. Welcome guys and gals, it's Hannah the Omaha Introvert. If you are new here, I thank you so much for finding my little channel and joining me in my music obsession. Whether it be vinyl or CDs, I am a collector of both. It's become quite the hobby for me. So this is the time where we get a bunch of recap videos of all kinds, best albums of the year, whatever it may be. I will say that I have really been stuck in the past this year. I did not explore much new music, although I do have a favorite album of the year. I feel like I'm just enjoying the classics. They have been the most satisfying to me. I've been going down the post-punk rabbit hole, 80s goth rabbit holes. If you watch my channel, you're either thrilled that I went down those rabbit holes, or you're like, this chick needs to move on and just check out newer music already.
Get on the bus.
Back to the topic at hand here, because I do get sidetracked easily, but these are records that I strictly found out in the wild this year. So local stores, record shows, stores that we visited on our road trips. I'm not showing any VCLT and no online purchases. So I conjured all these up myself while digging in person. The most satisfying way to shop for records, after all, is out in the wild, being surprised by what you find. You can find some real gems. So there are some surprises in here, meaning that a few of these I've never shown in a video or my Instagram before. So I do strive to keep it interesting and fresh for you all. Because of the short attention spans, which I'm also guilty of, by the way, when watching videos, I'm gonna go in reverse order, starting with my number 1 most favorite find, or the winning find, and then ending with my number 10. It was really hard narrowing down this list, let me tell you. I have some honorable mentions on the wall behind me. You probably remember me showing some of these, not all of them, but if I recall the prices, what I paid for these, I will be sure to let you know. And there's also quite a bit of punk in, I think, the top 5. My ears were just soaking up the punk this year, what can I say? But there is a little bit of variety here too. So let's go off track for just a second, and I want to share with you my, I guess, craziest album cover find of the year, just, you know, for shits and giggles. But yeah, this is definitely the craziest cover. This is Soul Asylum, and it's kind of an EP of sorts. It's called Clam Dip and Other Delights. So I'm sure you have seen the Herb Alpert cover, so it's kind of a play on that. I just thought this was hilarious, and I'm not the hugest Soul Asylum fan, but I found this at Grapefruit Records. It has some writing on the back, but I could not leave that in the store. I just think this is a hoot. So Clam Dip and Other Delights. Yeah, so that's definitely my craziest album cover pickup. Let's start this thing. So I'm not going to say much about some of these because I have covered them before in previous videos, and that would just be redundant, so I won't bore you. But if you are new here, you can check out, you know, any of my videos from this year, and I've probably shown several of these, so you can go back and just, you know, watch my channel. I would appreciate it. So my number 1 is this beauty. This is Kings and Queens by the Gits. I found this at the 4th State Record Show down in Carthage, Missouri, of all places, back in, I think, August. So you may be asking, well, what's so special about that? Who are the Gits? They were a punk band from the late 80s, early 90s. Mia Zapata, the singer, she was an amazing vocalist with bluesy influences, but her life was tragically cut short. Check out the movie The Gits if you're curious, but I have discussed them loads here on my channel before. So this baby's worth some money. Yet the price I paid, look at the price on that. It's $10, and this is a lovely splatter vinyl. So the seller of this was, I guess, just totally oblivious as to what he had. I assumed this was a bootleg or something when I was at the show, because I never come across Gits in the wild. You know, it's extremely rare to find their stuff. So currently this is listed as like $165 on Discogs, and I've seen it sell for $200 or more on eBay, but this is mine for $10. So this is a limited edition pressing from 1996. Like you just saw, it's on this splattered colored vinyl, but I've had the CD since like 2009 or so. So you can imagine how shocked I was to find this on vinyl and for that price. So this is the find of the year for me, major score, because I got it for $10, and considering how rare it is and the fact that I love this band, that's why it's my number one. Number two, I have Public Image Limited. This is first issue. Now I bought this at Drastic Plastic, and if you're ever in Omaha, Drastic Plastic is now on the upper level of the Monster Club, which is a restaurant, and Drastic Plastic shares the space with a bar, you know, on the upper level. So it's kind of a different vibe, different atmosphere than their standalone store was, but they do have a section of Japanese pressings, and I rarely look in that area of the store. For whatever reason, I just decided to look there that day, and voila, this baby was there. Yes, this is the debut from Public Image Limited. So this is complete with the OB strip, the poster, the insert with the lyrics. Absolutely beautiful condition. And if you don't know, this is Johnny Rotten's band after the Sex Pistols. This is a post-punk classic. Annalisa is my favorite track. I play that over and over. But this was an incredibly satisfying find for $42. It goes for more than that on Discogs. So that was a lucky score for me that day. That's my number two. Number three is a local grab. This is X with their debut album Los Angeles, and I picked this up at a pop-up show here in Omaha, I think early this summer. So this is an original US press, which I had been looking for ever since I started collecting seriously back in 2018. I thought the price was very fair on this. It was $40. So this is on Slash Records. X were the gateway punk band for me. They're very easy to digest. They're not hardcore. It's melodic with some rockabilly guitar and just very nice vocal interplay between Exene Cervenka and John Doe. And also Ray Manzarek of The Doors, he produced this album, which is pretty cool. He also plays organ on it, so that's a neat little tidbit if you are unfamiliar with X. So that was my number three. Number four, Alert. You have never seen me showing this in a video, and that's because I found it recently at Vinyl Cup Records here in Omaha. They had a 20% off sale this day. I'll take it out of the sleeve. Yeah, this is Susie and the Banshees with their last studio album, The Rapture. And Chris actually bought this for me, which is very sweet of him. But this is their last studio album from 1995. It's an original press. This one doesn't get the highest ratings, but I happen to love it. My first introduction to anything off of this record was hearing Sick Child from the Craft soundtrack. That one's on the first side. The Craft was like one of my favorite 90s movies when I was in high school. It came out when I was in high school, so my friends were just obsessed with it. And the soundtrack is excellent, by the way. But this album kind of has like a light, playful feel to it, and I think it's a really underrated one in their catalog. If anyone wants me to do a Susie and the Banshees ranking, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will consider doing that in 2023. But yeah, this is quite the rare one to find on vinyl, so that is my number four pick, and I've just really been obsessed with Susie and the Banshees, especially towards the last half of this year. Number five, this is a record I found at the Dallas Record Show, I think back in March. So this is the Waterboys, and this is their album, This Is the Sea. This is an amazing record. Waterboys don't pop up too often when I'm digging. If you go back maybe 2 or 3 videos, you'll see that I picked up 2 more of their records. So if you're curious on seeing what those are, just go back a little bit. So this is epic. I'd even say this is a masterpiece. Perfect song, so much texture, thought-provoking, stunning musicianship. The Whole of the Moon, I love that song. The Pan Within, Old England, it's just beautiful. Mike Scott, totally on his game. What a band, what a band. And this is a first US press. I paid $25 for it. I may have gotten a deal on it at the record show. I don't really remember. And the Susie and the Banshees, I think it, when the sale was complete, it might have been like $55 or so. I don't quite remember. So my number 6 is a record that is pretty affordable. I'm putting it on my list because of the length of time I had been searching for this damn record. It took me forever to find it, seriously. This is Squeeze. It's their record Cool for Cats. Squeeze, it's perfect power pop from Tilbrook and Difford. I have shown this in a previous video. I love this album so much, and it kind of completes all the Squeeze I need to have on vinyl. So I was just like thrilled to find this, and I found this at the Des Moines record show over the summer. I think it was like 12 to 15 bucks, somewhere in that range. So it is affordable, but it's getting harder to find. So it made my top 10. Ooh, the next one. This is super cool. So my number 7 is Radio Birdman with their album Radios Appear. This is a promo copy. I got this up in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the record show. We took a nice road trip up there. I did a whole video on it. But this is on Sire. This is I think it's a 1978 US press. This is not easy to come by, and I had been looking for this for a while. This is an excellent Australian punk band with some kind of like classic rock and roll influences in there as well. Dennis Tech, I believe he's from Ann Arbor, so it was kind of cool to find this in his hometown. But yeah, this is just a killer record if you've never heard it. Radio Birdman with Radios Appear. Okay, my number 8 is one that I've never shown in a video, and I got this at the Omaha record show earlier in the year, and come to think of it, I don't think I ever did a video on that record show for whatever reason, but I did end up getting some good stuff. I think it was just kind of a time where I was moving, I was getting this room set up. It was just a crazy time in my life where I needed to like reorganize everything, and you know how much of a pain moving is. So I think that was the time of the year I was moving, and I was like, I don't have time to film a video. But yeah, I found this at the Omaha record show earlier this year. It's 28th Day, and it's just self-titled. So this is a band, it's like flawless jangle pop. Barbara Manning, she has like such stunning vocals. Her voice is stunning. This is a pretty obscure release, and I was just spinning this again last night. This is just one to enjoy over and over again. You know how I love my jangle pop, and I'm thrilled to finally show this one on my channel. But 28th Day, don't sleep on this one. I believe it was released in 1984. This is on Bring Out Your Dead Records, and I paid $10 for it. But because I've never seen it since, and I just love it to pieces, I wanted to make sure it made the list. So that's my number 8 pick. Number 9, we're moving right along. Kate Bush. Yes, I became quite a big Kate Bush fan this year, finally. And I didn't quite get her before until I did a deeper dive this year. And it's worth doing a deeper dive before writing off an artist or a band. And I'm not saying I had written her off, but I didn't appreciate her before. So this one I found down at 402 Vinyl. And it's listed for $28, which even that is a good price, but Mike gives great deals. If you're ever in Bellevue, go to 402. He gave me this for 20 bucks. So he likes if you pay him cash. If you have cash, he will likely cut you a pretty sweet deal. But yeah, Japanese press of Kate Bush's Never Forever. The OB is kind of messed up here, but the rest of it is it's just in outstanding condition. And let me fix this because, yeah. So the cover art. Would you just look at the cover art and just marvel at the cover art? It's like just so artistic and weird. Oh, I love it. So this is Gatefold. And as I've shown, Japanese pressing, but this is her 3rd LP. So the Kate Bush records that I probably like the most are this one, The Dreaming, and Hounds of Love. So those 3 have just been in heavy rotation for me this year. So I very much appreciate Kate Bush and her uniqueness, her artistry, all of the different styles that are featured in her music, it is something to hear. So I love the song Violin on here. That just blows me away. Blows me away. And I didn't appreciate Babushka before, but now I have an appreciation for it. And I also love All We Ever Look For. What an album. Last but not least, this is also one I have not shown on my channel or my Instagram. This is The Faith Healers. This is their full-length debut album called Lido. Somehow I found this downtown at Vinyl Cup, which is very cool. So this is a 90s album. It has very noisy guitars. It's indie rock from the 90s. They cover Can's Mother Sky, which is really cool. But they're kind of shoegaze, but not. It's kind of hard to describe what they were about, their sound. They were unique, and I appreciate that. And I like to get my hands on their follow-up album and some of their EPs. But yeah, here's the label. Because it's so hard to find 90s original albums, this made my list. And yeah, if you watch my channel, I love semi-obscure bands from the 80s and 90s, and this one made my list. So I urge you to check this one out. Great condition as well. So cool to have found that. One last thing I want to bring up is my favorite box set of the year, and it's this Ramones box set from Record Store Day. This is their Sire albums from 1981 to 1989, which is kind of an overlooked period of the Ramones. But I'm so glad I got this. The quality on these pressings is outstanding. I'm very pleased with it, and it really helped me get familiar with their 80s period, which I had only heard a few albums prior to getting this, so it was just a treat to pick this up, to absorb it all and enjoy it. I love the 80s period of the Ramones now. So that's my favorite box set that I picked up this year. All right, so those are my top 10 vinyl scores of 2022. You can see more on the wall behind me. If you have any questions about what any of these are or the pressings, I'm happy to answer any questions. Let me know if you guys would like to see maybe a top 10 list of my favorite online buys for vinyl of the year. If you're interested, I can do that. I do want to quickly mention my favorite, and I forgot to do this earlier, but my favorite CD pickups of the year, okay? I know some of you like CDs. I love CDs and listen to them as well. I've shown this before, but this was a killer find down at Homer's. So this contains Slates, which is an excellent EP of theirs, in the fall, a part of America They're in 1981. So I much prefer the Slates half. Then I picked up this from Homer's as well. Homer's is just killing it. I think all of these came from Homer's, but Marine Girls, Lazy Ways, and Beach Party. So this is Tracy Thorn's first band. I believe it's her first band. So she was later in Everything But the Girl, but this is kind of like minimalist post-punk from the early 80s. I didn't have anything of theirs before, so it was really nice to find this. Do check them out. And then I picked up Elvis Costello's the deluxe edition of his album My Aim Is True. So this is cool because it has My Aim Is True along with the outtakes from that album, the Pathway Studio demos, and then disc 2 is a live show, live at the Nashville Rooms, August 7th, 1977, and then the sound check from that same show. So I recommend getting this if you're a super fan of this album like I am. That was a killer score, and I think I only paid like $8 or $9 for it. And finally, my favorite CD find of the year. This is a band I have only recently discovered and I'm now obsessed with, but this is Exmal Deutschland. This is their debut album, Fetish, and I found this down at Homer's for $8.99. Check Discogs because it's going for way more than that. But this also contains the Qual EP, and they were on 4AD. German post-punk band. I love their sound. Kind of Susie-like vocals. Very unique band. I love them. This was a killer find. I have more Exmal Deutschland to show in the future if you are also a fan. FYI. That's it. Top 10 finds of 2022 out in the wild. Let me know what you guys liked seeing the best here. I can't wait to come back for the next video. Happy holidays. Leave me comments below. Love to hear from you. See you next time.